The third way in which we can conditionally render some JSX or some component is by using multiple returns. So up until this point, all our components only ever had exactly one return keyword, right? But there is nothing stopping us from adding another return keyword based on some condition. So of course, each component still can only return one block of JSX, but that return can depend on a condition. So in other words, we can do, for example, this. So right here, we are outside of JSX. So we are simply inside the component. And so here we can write any JavaScript we want. So we can now easily use the if keyword. So we can say if is not open, then return, for example, this message right here. So this JSX. So paste that here, and that's actually it. So if the restaurant is not open, then this will be returned. But if it is opened, then all of this here is not executed, and then our normal return will simply be executed. What's important here is that these two returns cannot happen at the same time. But that's right now in short here. So let's again put it to 20. And so now we get this. So exactly this message right here. So it's not coming from here. So we could replace this, but I will leave it here and I will explain in a second why. But anyway, now this is actually coming from here. And we could, of course, do anything here just to make sure it is really coming from there. And yeah. Now, the problem in this case is that we are now no longer rendering the footer element around this P. So if we wanted to do the exact same thing, we would also have to copy the footer here, right? Otherwise, the footer would only be rendered in case the restaurant is open, but if not, then no footer would exist. So this is actually, in this case, not what we want, all right? So usually this early return, like we did here, is more useful when we want to render entire components conditionally, but not just some pieces of JSX. So let's try something else here, maybe. And what I'm looking for is actually this pizza component. So remember how the pizza has a property of sold out. So we can see that here in the props. So each pizza receives this pizza object now as a prop, and then we have sold out. So what we can do here as an early return is to say if props.pizza object dot sold out, then return nothing. And so with this, then the pizza that is sold out will not appear on the user interface. And indeed, there was one pizza. So that's this one here, pizza salamino, and that's no longer here now. And so that's because here we have this early return. So that's sometimes a pretty common technique that we can use, which is to simply return null, so nothing, in case there is a certain condition that's true. And so in this case, this can be quite useful. So for now, let's leave this here, even though later we will do something even nicer with this property. So as a conclusion of these 3 lectures on conditional rendering, my recommendation is to use the ternary operator whenever you need to return some piece of JSX based on a condition. So just, for example, like this here. So this we are going to use all the time. But also sometimes you just want to do something like this. So you want to return something entirely different, no matter if that's nothing or if that's just some other component. So for example, we could also say here something that doesn't make any sense. But let's just try this. So we could do this. So in case it's sold out, we return the header in this place. So again here, that makes no sense at all, but that would be a possibility. Although not a very good one. So throughout this course, you will learn which of these options is the best simply by practicing and using them in different situations over and over again.